What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm finally back. Man, I took quite a long break since the new year started. I think my last video it had to be in December, but I'm back. I just celebrated my 28th birthday this week, or this past week on Tuesday, January 15th. Shout out to all of you who have birthdays on January. Man, it's been crazy being almost 30. You know, that's a new experience altogether. Experiencing adulthood to like the fullest extent right now. So, man, I had for my birthday, I had to set up a podcast between like two of my really, really close friends from work, and which was Ty, the infamous Ty, and Anthony Ants. Ant's Lowrider Flicks. I was gonna have him on the show, but unfortunately, my boy Ants couldn't make it because he had to go to like the other side of the galaxy or something like that. So that plan kind of fell through, and me and Ty hung out, and we did record a podcast. However, I freaking screwed up. I screwed up bad. And it was a good one too, because I had asked him. If you don't know who Ty is, he's probably one of my only black friends that I have. Not that I don't want to have black friends or anything like that. He's just the only one that I really know. But yeah, it was a good one because like I had asked him what he thinks about this whole R. Kelly situation. Because if you guys didn't know, R. Kelly has been in some serious trouble. Well, not serious trouble, but he's like the allegations are back, and I think on Lifetime they had made some documentary on him, and it was just crazy. So but unfortunately, the way I screwed up is I did everything off of a Zoom recorder. I linked up a mixer like the one that I have here. However, it was a different one, and I didn't set the levels correctly, and now it's completely unusable because it's too distorted. And I like to, if I'm gonna put it out, I want it to be like the best that it can be. In that case, because that one was a real fun one. I actually got a hotel room, because I couldn't really have them at my own place or whatever, because parking freaking sucks here, you know. Even me, that I live here, I have to park across the street and whatnot. So there was that. So in that case, like I got a hotel suite like that was down the street from here, and the plan was to have both of them, and we're gonna talk about all kinds of nonsense that was going on. And I really wanted to get Ty's view on R. Kelly, which was outrageous. I don't even know why I let him talk. It was ridiculous. He was defending R. Kelly, even though R. Kelly hasn't given him a damn thing ever. You know, like R. Kelly. I mean, the most that he's given the community, this world, his inappropriate songs and stuff like that, like kind of what we have Trapped in the Closet. And my favorite song from R. Kelly is Real Talk, is the one that is on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, it is completely outrageous. It's amazing. And but yeah, I mean, it's these allegations. So but before I get to the whole R. Kelly thing, I mean, I'm really sorry to Ty that, you know, he took the time to come all the way from where he lives back to over here. I mean, I appreciate the time that he spent, like as much as he could, but unfortunately the recording was just unusable. So unfortunately we couldn't use it, or I didn't want to use it. So we're gonna have to set that up again soon, and this time with the full house, you know, with our little group that we have. I'm gonna be doing a stand-up comedy open mics in downtown Riverside, California, at the Hideaway every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Show starts. So if you want to go to a free comedy show, there's that. I mean, I won't promise you that it's gonna be a good show, but I mean, it's a pretty cool atmosphere. I mean, the Hideaway is like, it's like in a basement feeling. It feels like you're in a basement, and it feels like you're hiding from like the cops or whatever. And then I'm also trying to get up on at the Getaway in by UCR in Riverside. And that one I'm gonna try to hit up on Thursdays. Yeah, on Thursdays at 9 o'clock p.m. the show starts. So those are two places that I'm trying to do open mic on. The last Tuesday of every month. It's like you've practiced enough to try to bring your material to the improv in Ontario, California. So every last Tuesday of the month, I will try to be getting up on stage at the Ontario Improv. So that's pretty much it for the whole comedy thing. What I wanted to do today, as I was speaking to you guys, is I was going to make myself a Michelada, because I freaking really do like micheladas. Michelada. So just show you guys basically how I make my micheladas. When I start with a cup, I wouldn't use like a beer bottle or I don't know. You can do whatever the hell you want. I don't really care what you do. But I'm gonna use my Celtics cup. Like I said, you're allowed to do whatever you want. You could use a Lakers cup. You could use a pink freaking My Little Pony cup. It doesn't matter. Who cares, right? So I'm using my Celtics cup because I am a Boston Celtics fan. So, so this is what I would use is a cup, right? A glass, a glass, not a cup. I mean, if you want to use a freaking cup, go ahead. Who cares? Like I said, I'm not gonna freaking. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can go ahead and not watch this video for the rest of like, oh, he's drinking shit out of a freaking Celtics cup. That's disgusting. It's just like, dude, it's just a cup, man. Just relax, all right? So, and for the beer, all right. Here's one thing that I will say though: if you freaking try to make a michelada with freaking Budweiser and Bud Light and any American, domestic, any freaking just domestic beer, like just drink it just like that. Micheladas have no place. You shouldn't use American beer for this Mexican cocktail. To say to speak. I mean, but again, you could do whatever the hell you want. Just don't talk to me. All right, that's it. I'm just gonna ask you just to move it along. Don't even stand next to me. All right, but again, you could do whatever you want. So I'm drinking one of my faves in the Mexican beer department is Modelo Especial. Okay, aka freaking Stipe Miocic. He's the former heavyweight world champion in the MMA in the UFC. He was taken down by Daniel Cormier, DC. So, but Stipe, he's actually sponsored by Modelo, and it was funny when this whole situation was happening with John Jones about the whole testing positive or whatever. He was like, I'll test positive all day. All I drink is Modelo. I was like, that's freaking gangster. You gotta love Stipe. So hopefully we get to see him back in the octagon soon. Stipe, he's actually like a full-time firefighter and a part-time UFC, and he was like the heavyweight champion, of the world, until Daniel Cormier told him there's a new sheriff in town, and that was pretty nuts. It was pretty nuts. So you got yourself a Modelo, and I think I might have screwed up again because I got this Clamato, and it says preparado, prepared, basically for you freaking non-Spanish speaking people. It says it is prepared, and it shows a bottle of what looks like the Worcestershire sauce, like off to the side. So and then it has like the spices and all that stuff. So I don't know how, like, cause I have all the stuff to mix the cocktail right here. So, but I don't know if it's already got everything mixed in here. If it does, that's kind of weird. Because I like to mix my own ingredients, feel like I'm some sort of mixologist. Makes it feel like I know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm not. So, I mean, if you go to like Bevmo or something, or if you go to like liquor stores, sometimes they'll have like pre-made like michelada juice. I don't know what to call it. Michelada mix. Not juice, but michelada mix. And there's a few really good ones, so I can't remember them, but like I don't know if Clamato has what it takes to make a good already pre-made michelada mix, but that's what it says right here. I mean, if you know how to read Spanish, it actually has it in English. It has it in English and in Spanish. I'm not a great reader in Spanish, but in English, if you ever come across this preparado stuff, you're gonna find out if it tastes like ass or if it tastes great, you know. But either way, I guess what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna mix one like I do normally, and if it tastes crazy nasty, then I'm gonna try it with just the clamato and the beer, and see what that tastes like. And if it tastes like bunghole, then maybe you guys should just stick with the original. It's just like where I went, there's like a little store like across from where I live, and this is what they had. And it's either this or they had the little tiny ones, and I was like, nah, man, I'm fixing to make a few, because like in a little bit I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the UFC prelims. The first fight night in ESPN that's going down tonight. So that's going to be very interesting. The main event is going to be Tj Dillashaw versus Henry Cejudo. A champion someone's going to lose their. Oh, I mean, if Henry Cejudo loses, he's going to give up his belt, and if he wins, he's going to keep his belt. It's not like he takes Tj Dillashaw's belt because Tj Dillashaw had to come down a weight class to fight him, and he looks like Skeletor right now. It's freaking weird. It's gonna be an interesting fight night. So I got some clamato, some jugo de limon, lime juice, lime juice. So there's that. I mean, you could use it. I'm honestly, fresh squeezed lemons or limes are gonna be the best thing for you to use, but that's freaking easy as hell, and it tastes like freaking candy. It's not real lime juice, is it? Well, let me see if they added anything else. Oh, they added all kinds of shit. I thought I don't know why I'm surprised. I thought it was gonna say stuff like, it was just gonna say, dude, there's lime and there's just lime in here, but no, there's like water, citric acid, concentrated lime juice. Let's see, lime juice powder, sodium benzoate or whatever, and potassium sorbate as a preservative. So yeah, it's got all kinds of so I don't know, there's its own chemical cocktail going on in this little thing. So, and then usually use your favorite hot sauce. Oh, this is tapatio. This is like freaking water to Mexicans. You know, this stuff is like, not. I don't even know if it has actual peppers in it. Who knows? Let's see. Ooh. I was itchy. Let's see. Made from water, red pepper. Okay, it just has red peppers in it. So, spices, and I don't know why I'm reading ingredients. What the hell's the matter with me? Let's see the ingredients in beer. Oh wait, they don't have them listed. Just freaking great juice, right there. That's what's in it. Awesome stuff. So I'm gonna stop reading freaking ingredients because what kind of shit is that, right? So, but honestly, tapatio, that's what I normally use when I make a michelada. It's recommended to use a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, which this shit for some reason reminds me of a freaking horse. I don't know why, but it does. And then if you want to sprinkle a little bit of Tajin, a little tahini, you're more than welcome to. You're also more than welcome to do whatever the hell you want. You could just freaking pop this thing open and drink it just like that. Again, I don't know why I felt like I got to show you guys this, but whatever. So the way I make a michelada, and while I'm mixing it myself, is I'll start with the lime juice, right? So we're going to pop this mother lover open, this motivator, all right? And I'm going to freaking be generous with this shiz, all right? I actually do really like lime, so a little bit more. Yeah. All right, so that's the lime juice. And then I'll go with the tapatio. The reason I go from lime juice to tapatio is because there's a good amount, and then I mix it, right? I am not going to use like a spoon or anything to stir this crap. I'm just going to freaking go for it, all right? So I'm going to freaking... Again, this stuff is like water to Mexicans, so put a generous amount. You know what I should have gotten? There was a picante version of this clamato. So, man, I would probably burn my dang face off. So, okay. So, here we go. So see, now it's like a little mixed together pretty good, If you were to just throw droplets of tapatio into a beer, it doesn't really mix well. I know this because sometimes I'll get Coronas and I'll drink about the neck of the Corona and I'll just pour a little bit of tapatio in there, so a lime, and I would just like I have to swish it a certain way. But that actually that tapatio beer, that mix was kind of I guess it was like a poor man's michelada when you don't want to do all this mierda, but that one was set up. I remember the first time I tried it is that I have this buddy that I hang out with when I hang out with my cousins. He's there, not all the time, but usually he's there. And then one time we were hanging out and he made these spicy Coronas, and it was freaking awesome. His name is Gene. So shout out to Gene. Anyways, then I'll do a couple of little droplets of this Worcestershire sauce, right? Okay. Shit, that might have been a little too much, right? Oh man, when I closed the lid, it freaking splashed on me, nasty. All right, shake that up. It looks like carrot juice, like a little consistency of carrot juice. All right, then a little bit of Tajin, because I do want a little bit of Tajin. If you want to freaking salt the rim of the glass, go again. Do whatever the hell you want. I don't care, But this is the way. Oh, dang it, too much. This is the way I'm finna do it. So, that's it. And then I get the Modelo. I need to get this on mic. Ooh, yeah. Shout out to Modelo. Freaking love Modelo. All right, so I'm going to pour it just like as I would a normal beer. Oh, son of a... I forgot the freaking clamato. What a freaking dumbass. You know what? All right, before you freaking add the beer, or this one's already gonna taste like bunghole because I freaking messed up. I got excited because I kept looking at the beer. I was like, when's the beer gonna get added to it? Idiot. All right, so I guess I'll just, man, it's just like I like to measure with the. I'm not starting all over though. That's freaking ridiculous. So, that smells delicious. All right, that should be enough. That might have been a little much, but whatever. I'm the one that has to drink it, not you guys. A lot of people are probably like, what are you doing, man? That's freaking disgusting. It's going to go in my body, not yours. So, don't be hating. Or hate. I don't give a damn what you do. All right. So, cheers, you guys. This is the michelada that I made. It's bright freaking red. So in my Celtics cup. So I usually I can down these and they're really delicious. So if you don't like tomatoey flavored stuff, then I don't know what to tell you. Don't make this, obviously. Ooh, man, that's actually real good. That's real damn good. Oh, Viva Mexico, man. Man, I don't know. I was going to say, speaking of Mexico, with this whole deal with the whole government shutdown just because of the wall, I have no comments. But as long as we don't get rid of micheladas, I think we're freaking fine. Right? Oh, yeah. So, Henry Cejudo versus Tj Dillashaw happening later on tonight. I'm excited because I love the UFC. I love watching these fights and whatnot. But Tj Dillashaw, he's been on a rampage. He's been killing everybody. And Henry Cejudo just freaking beat Mighty Mouse. So that was very impressive because a lot of people he was kind of like the underdog in this situation. And Henry the Messenger, Cejudo, actually beat Mighty Mouse. And then Mighty Mouse was traded for Ben Askren from ONE FC. So that was really crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing or one championship. I didn't know that like the UFC can trade fighters to other organizations. Like I had no idea, but I guess that was the case. So now and then I guess Mighty Mouse feels okay with that decision. I think maybe he felt like it was time to move on from the UFC anyways. And it's crazy because I've seen a lot of fighters move from when their contract's over with the UFC, they'll try other tournaments or whatever, or they'll try other fighting companies or whatever. I think Lyoto Machida last year announced that he was going to Bellator, which is crazy, and yeah. So, but let's see. Tj Dillashaw is gonna have to go down or went down a weight class. He's not gonna have to. He did, right? He cut weight and he looks nothing like how he does. He looks dehydrated. He looks like I don't know. This is coming from someone who's fat as hell, by the way. So me judging the way what someone looks like, how skinny they look, is just crazy. And this is Henry Cejudo's like fighting class. You know, this is what he fights at, where he fights at, I think. So it's gonna be very interesting. Let's like I remember I was watching the I was watching Henry Cejudo fight Mighty Mouse, and something was up with this dude's ankle. It was like tweaking and twitching as he was fighting, and it looked just so uncomfortable. And Henry Cejudo was fighting it with a karate stance, and he had to fight southpaw at one point because or in one round, I think it might have been the second round. He had to. I think it was the first round. The first round he had to fight completely southpaw because his ankle was just like tweaking out from under him, and it was causing him to like lose his balance, and he looked like he was tripping over himself, and it was real odd to watch. I don't know what was up with that. So I'm interested to see if Henry Cejudo is gonna go with that go with that strategy with the karate stance, and I want to see how that ankle reacts. I'm pretty sure by now it should be all healed, and or whatever anything was wrong with it. They this was like a recurring issue because once he got to the corner, Henry Cejudo's corner was like they were like rubbing his leg because this has happened to his ankle before, maybe during training or whatever. So I'm for sure gonna keep an eye on that. But Tj Dillashaw is like I'm just really I'm real curious to see how he's gonna handle this weight cut, because obviously it looks like it took a really toll on him. Like you can see it in his face, like he was more of a like pudgy looking person, like not fat obviously because he was a freaking welterweight or lightweight, whatever the hell he is, but he's like yeah, he's just got a little more meat to his bones, and now he's like nothing but bones. And Henry Cejudo looks like he's just normal. So it's interesting to see if we can see another double champ at the beginning of this year, because I think in December, I think it might have been like December 29th or something like that. It was who fought, man. It was an epic fight. I think it was Cyborg versus it was Chris Cyborg versus how am I forgetting it? It was such an epic freaking fight. Amanda Nunes. Good grief. Amanda Nunes was like precise, and she freaking just mauled Chris Cyborg, and none of us were ready to see that. All of us were surprised, and for whatever reason, because Amanda Nunes was like, she was. I bet in her head she was like, why the hell would you guys be surprised? Like, come on, that's an offense, which I get it. So, but that was an amazing fight. And then it was, the return of John Jones, and he fought against Alexander Gustafsson. And that was an okay fight. It was just a little strange because of the whole testing positives, and you had Jeff Nowitzki and Joe Rogan tying in, and I understand what they were saying, but there's a lot of, it's just very suspect. A lot of people just are calling shenanigans on this situation, and I understand why, but I also understand what Jeff Nowitzki, who works for the UFC, and Joe Rogan, who works for the UFC, I understand like what they're saying. So like the whole picogram situation, and then so many like if you follow the UFC, so many news channels and so many Joe Rogan had covered it, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Brandon Schwab had shared his take on it. So me saying anything about it is probably the dumbest thing that I could ever try, because I know I don't know enough. I feel like I started watching the UFC strongly like last year. Like I would watch it every once in a while if there was like a big fight. My cousins would hang out, and we would go watch the fight, and and like eat pizza or whatever. Like that was like a routine thing. Like we had like our own type of fight companion, and that's what we would do. Like we knew the drill. You know, like when it was a big fight, we would go watch it, and then like I didn't really know much, and then I got pretty into it. Like I got more interested in it, as I would say. I wouldn't say that I got more like real into it, but I did get more interested in it, and yeah, we watched a bunch of fights together, but last year is when I was like paying more and more attention to all these fights that were going on, and yeah, so hearing me talk about like facts about fighting, it's probably not even the smartest thing for me to do, but oh my gosh. Oh man, so I guess I'll share a quick little story. How stupid me and my little cousin used to be. Like, we basically almost gave ourselves like pneumonia. The freaking missions that we were trying to do for no damn reason at all. So juvenile. We were so innocent back in the day. Now that I think of it, man. So there was a 7-Eleven that's not in walking distance. I'll go ahead and put it to you like that. We live, I don't know, it was like miles away. As a matter of fact, it is walking distance, but after that, your feet are going to throb. Like, you're done. You're done for the rest of the day after you freaking go and come back and you do a round trip for some, and all right. So it was raining hard as hell. And the thing that me and my cousin used to do when we would hang out is go to a store, buy chips, and buy all kinds of things. And for some reason, we decided one day, before our big mission or whatever that we weren't even expecting, is we decided to try 7-Eleven's hot chocolate, or like Hershey's hot chocolate or something, and it was like creamy and delicious. And like when we felt, I don't know, when we tasted it on our lips and when we freaking drank that hot chocolate, we were like, it was like our lives were freaking changed, or we acted like it. It was freaking incredible how stupid we were. But we were like, oh my gosh, it was like the greatest thing ever. And we decided to, make that our new thing. It's crazy. So again, this freaking 7-Eleven, you should drive to this 7-Eleven, like from where we were at. Like, you should take a car. That's the smartest thing to do. But we were like young. I was probably like, I don't know, 15, 16 maybe. I was young, and my cousin was like a few years younger than I was. So one day it was raining, and it was like pouring rain, and there was a store that was within walking distance, and that's where we would go to buy like snacks, like chips and Snickers, and just energy drinks, even though we really shouldn't have been drinking like energy drinks. But one day there was like a big ass thunderstorm. Like, I'm talking about like a huge storm. And it was crazy because like it was kind of like the storm that happened this week actually in California. It was pretty it wasn't massive, but the one back then, it was like, I don't know what year it was. It was probably like 2005 or something. But it was like pouring rain, and we decided to go to the little store, right? The store that's close by, the reasonable store. So we're like, even though it's raining, let's put up with it. Let's go to it was called Campbell's. Let's go to Campbell's, and then let's go get like chips and stuff like that. So we went, and we got to Campbell's. I kid you not, we freaking got there. It was right there. All we had to do was walk into the door, and I don't know if it was me or him. I don't remember, but we were like, damn. Imagine how good that freaking hot chocolate would be right now from 7-Eleven. And then we took like the scenic route for some reason. For some reason, the saying that we would always tell each other if we're like ready to do something when we're not sure the other person is like, you're not down. So we traded a you're not downs with each other, and then we I mean, after, it's kind of hard to turn down a you're not down, because if you say no, I'm not down, then all of a sudden the teasing starts, right? And no one wants to deal with that, especially when you're young. It's kind of like that's the equivalent to like a double dog dare or whatever, So we hit each other with a few you're not downs, and then eventually we were like, let's do this. And we took like the longest route. Like, there was like an easier way to get there, but like, nah, screw that. We're men. were, man. We were freaking barely in our teenager, like we were teenagers, and freaking we were like, oh, we're man, let's do this shit. And so for some reason we decided to do it, and we went and we walked super far, and it was raining so hard. I was like, we're gonna freaking die. Like I don't know what's going on. Like we're gonna drown by how much. Like I couldn't breathe in the atmosphere because of how freaking it was cold and it was pouring rain. You know when you can see the raindrops falling, and you can kind of see like the size of them, and you're like, oh man, like they're really small specks, but it's like a lot of them, so that's why you get wet. And in this case, it was like, whoa, those are huge droplets coming at us, and we can't even see. Like those are the ones that like when you're driving in the freeway, like, and it starts raining like that, you contemplate freaking pulling over. Sometimes you're like, oh, I really can't see because I'm not used to this stuff. That's the kind of rain that we were walking through. For whatever reason, man, like we're forgetting that we're in America, we live in California, and we had homes. Like we shouldn't have been walking like that. There's no way, there's no reason. Even homeless people were like hitting the deck, you know. They're hiding from this rain and trying to like get some sort of shelter from it, and we're freaking walking down the street like, oh, look at us, you know. We could have gotten hit by so many cars and whatnot. It was just freaking, it was ridiculous. It's definitely not like one of my proudest moments, but then again, it is, because it was actually quite a crazy experience. So we get to 7-Eleven, and then we pour ourselves the biggest hot chocolate that they have, the biggest cup. We pay, and as soon as we go out, it was like the heavens have rewarded us, because as soon as we walked out of 7-Eleven, it stopped raining. It stopped raining, and then we had this glorious hot chocolate, and then like probably like a week after that, we were, or at least I got sick. I remember, because I was actually staying at my cousin's house for a while because of some situations that were happening. I was just staying there for a while. And I remember, like, I was, like, dying. Like, I was about to freaking call it quits. And then my cousin's sister was just making fun of me the whole time. It was ridiculous, but I was, like, about to die. It was not fun. But the whole experience was pretty outrageous. It was pretty nuts. Man, speaking of, like, 7-Eleven, I don't know how the hell they were able to get away with this for so long. And if my cousin's listening to this, he knows probably where I'm going with this. But back in like the early 2000s, like energy drinks were like prevalent, and they were like brand new, and they were like the newest, hottest things. And then there was all kinds of companies trying to get in on the action. And there was like energy drinks like Von Dutch or Von Deutsch, whatever you want to call it. And there was like all kinds of, there was like Pitbull energy drinks, and the thing was like, oh, let's try all kinds of energy drinks. And one day we walked into 7-Eleven, and we were like, oh, let's get slushies, you know. This is why I'm fat, right? Because that's where our adventures would go to. It was always going to a store and getting sugary shit and snacks with all kinds of carbs, and it was just a mess, right? But we go get slushies, and oh my goodness, to our surprise, in the peak of this whole energy drink crisis, or this energy drink epidemic, not crisis, but epidemic, there's freaking a Monster Energy Slurpee, and you can get like the biggest like Slurpee size that they have and fill that thing to the freaking brim. It was like freaking little trash can sized things, and we were like, oh dude, we have to freaking try it. We got so damn addicted to those damn freaking like Monster Energy Slurpees that when we bring it up to this day, I think the only reason we didn't have our hearts explode is because we were young as hell, right? Our hearts were young and strong and ready. If we were to do the same things that we did back then, our hearts would for sure explode, 100%. If I were to drink one of those Slurpees right now, like my heart would explode and my feet would explode for whatever reason. I don't know why, but goodness gracious. So we would get those Monster slushies all the damn time. And yes, they were so unhealthy. I mean, just the regular, just a Monster energy drink, the 16-ounce cans are freaking bad for us. And we drink those like every day now, right? But that was like, it was a slushy, like it was like syrup, and I remember the color was like purple, and it was freaking awesome. Like, and then like your tongue would turn purple, and then we'd go and we'd play like board games, and we'd play video games, and we had this room, like where they had like one of those portable ACs, and the room was just for us to hang out in for a while until, someone had to move in, but we were like in this house because they anyways, so there was the AC in this room, and it was in the peak of like the summer, right? And the summer here in California can get pretty damn hot sometimes, and this was one of those. It was like 105 days, and we're like, let's go on this mission and get freaking heat stroke. But we gotta go get them freaking slushies. So we went to go get those Monster slushies like twice in one day or whatever. And we got hot dogs and whatnot, and keep in mind, like, this was like we were like finding change from the sofa, and whatever we freaking accumulated, that's what helped us get these snacks. It's not like we didn't have jobs or anything. It's just, and we didn't have money. We just had to find something, or we would recycle or something. We just had to find a way to like get these snacks. So. I just wanted to clear that up. Like, it's not like we live in Beverly Hills and like mommy and daddy got us hooked up or anything like that. That's not the case. So we get these Monster slushies, and we're playing, and we're just hanging out in this freezer room because that AC that we had in there worked freaking marvelously. So that was like that was like paradise. We had like snacks. So we had like Cheetos, like hot Cheetos, and then we had these gigantic ass Slurpees that have concentrated freaking Monster energy drink inside of them. So we're drinking them, we're getting freaking crazy, we're going wild, and we're ready to freaking bust through the freaking windows and whatnot. And some of us, well, I mean, we were very open about our shit sometimes, honestly. So we would go to the restroom to take a dump, right? Because that's what you have to do, especially after you drink and eat all kinds of like garbage, right? So it's time to take a dump, and when it was time for me to flush, I didn't want to tell my cousin this, but I did. I eventually did, because I wanted to make sure that there wasn't something wrong with me. My turds. My turds were blue. It's like bright blue, like freaking crayon blue. Oh my gosh, like they were like this freaking blue right here. I don't know if you can freaking see that, but I don't know. Maybe that's a bad example. But that shit looked like crayon, dude. It was so unnatural, and it shouldn't have been done. That's when I knew, like, I can't believe we were getting into like after that I contemplated, and that was the first time I was just like, maybe I shouldn't be freaking drinking something like that. That's freaking crazy. Drinking something so much that like my turds were like neon blue, you guys. Like it was like crayon blue. Goodness gracious. So I go back into the room, and then my cousin goes to take a dump, and then he comes back, and I'm like, dude, are your turds blue? Are your turds blue? Like, we both exchanged how mind-blowing it was that we drank these Slurpees so much, these purple Monster Slurpees, so much that our turds were blue. I've seen the avocado green, I've seen like really, really, really dark brown where I'm like, it's almost freaking black. I've seen that before, depending on what I've been eating. Like I think I ate black beans once, and that just freaking my turds were like super dark for like the next few like days or something like that. Drink coffee, and like, I don't know, I've had watery shits before, but never in my life, and I don't know anyone who would ever believe me that my turds were blue, yo. Like, that's freaking crazy, What can you eat right now besides probably crayons that would turn your turds blue? Like, I'm telling you guys, it was. It wasn't like a little like shade of blue, or it wasn't like slightly colored blue. It was like bright blue. Like this shit was like toxic waste glowing in the freaking toilet blue. Like it was. Oh my goodness. I've never eaten a thing in my life that has turned my turds a certain color, other than maybe avocados. Maybe. But I've eaten a lot of avocados, and my freaking turds are just the same. They're just normal colored. And these were like solid turds too. It wasn't like like I was spraying blue, you know. I don't know. I know this podcast just got very gross, but that's how it was being a freaking child, or at least not being a child. That's what it was like being young and going on these little adventures, and you freaking find out that if you drink too much Monster Slurpee, your heart won't really explode if you're young, but you will turd out blue turds. Like, you will crap out some blue turds. So crazy. Oh, man. And it's crazy how it wasn't just me either. Like, cause what if there was just there could have easily been something wrong with, like, my body, and that was producing the rare blue turds, but it was happening with my cousin too, and we're like, for sure it's the monster, and that didn't slow us down. Honestly, we still freaking got that stuff until it was probably banned. I'm pretty sure Monster's not allowed to do that anymore, and 7-Eleven probably caught a lawsuit or something after that, because someone's heart had to have exploded after that. Because like I said, it's syrup and like Monster and purple, and it makes your turds blue. Oh man, it's freaking incredible. It's just unbelievable. So, luckily this Michelada doesn't turn my freaking turds red, or does it? I don't know. Maybe who knows? Maybe like a little shade of like adds a little bit of shade of red to my brown, but it still wouldn't. It wasn't bright red. This was like distinguishedly blue as hell, right? So how much time have I? All right. So, anyways, I guess that's all that I wanted to freaking bring up today. I'm gonna try to be more consistent with these podcasts once again. You can find this on iTunes now. I found a way to put it up on iTunes. So hopefully I can get my buddies on here, and we can discuss, just because, like I said, like that R. Kelly podcast was great. The R. Kelly podcast. I'm talking like if he was on my show. I'm not even sure I'd even want R. Kelly on my podcast, honestly. But that podcast where me and Ty discussed all kinds of things. We talked about basketball, and we talked about this whole R. Kelly situation, and hopefully we can get together, and I can get my boy Ants on the podcast too. That way we can talk about his like lowrider car club, and we can talk about just random stuff, movies and stuff like that. Because me and my dude Ants, we're always talking about movies. And Jamie, I'm not sure he's gonna hang out with us. Honestly, I think he moved on, which is real sad because that was an end of an era, I guess. But if he wants to hang out with us, then let him hang out. One last thing. I'm going to see if anyone... No, nobody. Or... Yeah, nobody. It's the last time I asked freaking Instagram to ask me questions that I can answer on the podcast. That's freaking... Nobody cares, man. But anyways... Henry Cejudo, who do I got? Henry Cejudo versus Tj Dillashaw. Like, man, I'm gonna be surprised if Tj Dillashaw really does win this fight, just simply because this isn't really his weight class, and just by the way he looks after cutting weight. But who knows? He can very easily surprise everybody and get down, and he could possibly win against Henry Cejudo. But who knows? But who do I got? I think I'm gonna have to go with Henry Cejudo on this one. Nothing against Tj Dillashaw. I just think he's anytime a fighter goes to a different class that he's not really used to, especially going down to a class that's not his, it's difficult. It's a difficult challenge, and who knows if Tj Dillashaw can pull it off. But if he is, then that's good for him. But if he can't, like, I wouldn't blame him. So I just want to see a badass fight, and that's pretty much it, y'all. In the NBA, real quick, man. Like, remember when the Los Angeles Clippers were number one for a couple of days? Yeah, well, they're like in number 9 now, and Golden State is at number 1 in the West, and the Celtics were freaking terrible right now, losing to teams like Brooklyn and Phoenix and freaking Orlando, when they should be beating everybody right now. I remember in the beginning of the season, I was like, man, they're about to kill everybody. Nope. And then Toronto, they're still playing pretty decent. However, they're not at the number 1 spot as of this moment. They're, as a matter of fact, the Milwaukee Bucks are at number 1. And but I had discussed with my dude Ty the whole situation with Toronto. Like, even though they're playing good, and even though Kawhi Leonard is killing it, and he's playing like he's a star again, we agreed on this. We still don't think that he's gonna stay in Toronto. I'm pretty sure this is he's not gonna stay. I'm sorry. If he does stay, that is gonna shock all of us. But I really don't think it's gonna happen. So, yeah, other than that, well, I mean, I guess I can look up some headlines just for old time's sake, just because I used to do that. And see, Boston right now, they're losing against freaking Atlanta in the first quarter, 20-11. Like, what kind of crap is that? Who does Atlanta have that matches up with Boston? That's freaking crazy. That's so stupid. Like, who do we have playing in Boston in place of the superstars right now? What's going on? Anthony Davis, oh man, he's expected to miss 1 to 2 weeks with a finger sprain. Man, I love and I'm a big Anthony Davis fan. And who knows if he's gonna stay with Nolans? I think there was speculation that he might just stay with them, sign a supermax deal with them or something, or. I know the Los Angeles Lakers have been looking into trying to get him. And, when LeBron wants someone, there's a big chance that he's going to get him. And LeBron seems to have shown huge interest in wanting to play with Anthony Davis. And that's just dangerous as hell. All right, so let's see. Andre Drummond enters concussion protocol, so he got his freaking brain rattled. It's crazy. A lot of people don't understand how physical basketball could be sometimes, but it can be. Just because there's sports like football and sports like fighting, MMA, and boxing, and all these real physical contact sports. A lot of people think that basketball is not a real. It is a contact sport. It can get real physical, unlike soccer. They pretend that it's physical. They don't even know what physical is. So, oh man, my pops is calling me right now. I'm gonna have to call him back in a little bit. So, oops. I will call him back right away. But I'm in the middle of my podcast, pops. So, I don't know if I should leave it straight to voicemail. Okay, all right. So, Feltz is rejoining the 76ers. He had some problems with his shoulder. The Rockets are aggressively pursuing. All right, so they're trying to clear a spot. So they're trying to make it official and make sure that Melo is gone. And they're trying to get Kenneth Faried on the squad in place of where Melo was at. So that's actually a pretty good strategy. The Manimal, who knows how good he still is right now, but I know he's yeah. Boogie finally debuted. Man, I'm be honest with you. with you guys. Like, it's been a while since I've been on the podcast and or that I've done the podcast, and I haven't really been paying attention too much to the NBA as I should, because this is like a NBA related podcast over here. But Boogie, man, DeMarcus Cousins, I guess he freaking started to play with he had his debut with the Warriors already, so this could be very dangerous, y'all. Very dangerous. Let's see. I don't know how he did. Let's see. Boogie scores 14 and fouls out in victorious Warriors debut. So obviously he's still rather rusty, and he's still coming back from an injury. Anytime, it's very slow. Anytime a player comes back from an injury, but that's not bad to score 14 in your debut and foul out. I mean, that means you're being physical, honestly. In all honesty, that means you're able to be physical right now. If you're fouling out, that means you're able to foul people and you're able to get fouled. Because when you're fouling someone, you're also getting contact yourself. Like, you're creating contact, but you're also receiving contact. So that's a good sign for DeMarcus Cousins. And let's see. There's a lot of freaking news about this whole DeMarcus Cousins situation. Let's see. Oh, it's because the Nets had waived Kenneth Faried. That's what's going on. So the Nets waived Kenneth Faried, and they're trying to freaking hopefully replace that spot that Melo had left void with Kenneth Faried. So they're gonna freaking probably claim him off the waivers, which is actually a pretty good. It could be a good move, but it's also, who knows. I guess that's it for right now, you guys. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Again, I'm gonna continue to record more content, and hopefully I can get my boys on. Hopefully I could get more guests on. Maybe some local comedians that I've met at the Hideaway. I can maybe convince them to get up on the podcast. So again, if you live close to Riverside, like in Riverside County, or you live in Riverside, California, remember the Hideaway Tuesday at 8:00, and then Thursday at the Getaway at 9:00 at downtown Riverside, and then by UCR is where the Getaway's at. But all those open mics have been provided by a company called the Buddy System Company. The Buddy System Company. Goodness gracious, Buddy System. They're the ones. So shout out to them, because they're putting all that together, and they're killing it. They're like trying to create some sort of comedy scene here in Riverside, and I'm digging it, especially since I'm starting off as a comedian right now. Like, I'm just starting off, so it's been very helpful to be able to get up on stage. And I've bombed already, that really sucked. I actually bombed on my birthday, and that freaking blew big, huge, dirty nutbags. That sucked so much. Gosh, bombing sucks. And I honestly, when I bombed, I wanted to just be like, man, I don't think I should even try to do comedy anymore. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. Everybody bombs. And it wasn't like a terrible bombing. It's not like I got heckled, and that's why I bombed. I just didn't bring my A game, and my stories weren't really weren't killing. So I went to go back to the drawing board, write some more material, some better punchlines, and I gotta get back to the grind. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, for listening. Again, you can catch this on iTunes. I'll go ahead and announce when I release it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Los Patino Comedy. And that's it. All right, you guys. Thanks y'all so much. Peace.